Welcome to Season 3 of Sailing Sitka. I'm Kenna and this is Jay. We live aboard our 1976 Choi Lee sailboat named Sitka, in which we have sailed south from Canada in 2022 to the very last port of Mexico. This season, we are finally exiting Mexico and taking our boat further through the Panama Canal and into the beautiful Central American waters. So hit that subscribe button and follow along, as this season we are sailing as far and wide as possible. You guys you make this happen, and we couldn't do it without you. So thank you so much for tuning in to this week's episode of Sailing Sitka, and I hope you enjoy. Welcome to this week's episode of Sailing Sitka. We spent our first day in Panama City by dinging over to the $1 dock provided by the Las Brisas Anchorage. After locking up our dinghy for good measure, we began our adventure of walking to the Immigration and Customs office to get officially checked into Panama and book our canal transit once and for all. We hired an agent to help us deal with the paperwork and organizing our booking, and we couldn't recommend it more. After a morning spent at the office, this was the receipt that we received at the end. Keep in note that this is in USD and does not include the line handlers that we later decided would be a big benefit for us during our transit. 2 line handlers provided by Eric, our agent, totaled to $240 USD. So the overall total for the canal booking came to $3,360 USD, which is $4,864 Canadian, or as we refer to as Scooby Snack dollars. This was all before the rates increased even more in the 2025 New Year, which is why we boogied down the coast in order to transit before January 1st. Thank you to all our Patreons and those of you who help us out on PayPal. It is moments and events just like this that all the love and support is highly and very much appreciated. We later spent that first night in Panama City aboard Sitka, observing the beauty and busyness this concrete jungle provides. Some cruisers say that this anchorage can get a bit rough when the wind picks up in the afternoons, but with that in mind, we couldn't help but want to stay, as we were in awe with a spectacular view of downtown. That and the dinghy dock was way cheaper, comparatively speaking, to La Playita Anchorage on the other side, and also not to mention it provided free and unlimited use of drinking water. So we hung out in Las Brisas and enjoyed some good company with our great pal Josh, all while watching our first sunset of many, being anchored here, awaiting our canal transit for December 20th. Good morning, everyone. Good morning from the marina here in Panama City. We just came in doing a fuel run here because as you guys know, we did a 45-hour motor here to Panama City from Bahia Honda, so we need to get a couple of runs of fuel down pat, which is actually relatively easy. It's just here at the marina. We're around the corner from the anchorage, so yeah, that's us this morning.
All right, guys, well, this is day 3 in Panama City, and the anchorage gets pretty boisterous here in Panama City during the afternoon when it's windy from the northeast north. So white caps, tons of fetch because it rounds around the point of where the city is, and this is what it looks like here. This is a good example as why a bridle is important. So you see the bridle is what's taking the strain off the chain and the gypsy, or else all the strain would be on here. Depending on the tide, we're between 20 feet of water and 30 feet of water, and we have 200 feet of chain out, about 210 with the bridle. So we're at a really high scope here. which was recommended to us by not only Navionics but by our old neighbor that used to be here. She's been here for a few years, and she was like, yeah, the holding here isn't the greatest, and when it blows from this direction, which it is right now, it's not uncommon for boats to drag here and end up losing their boats on the rocks. There's a few sunken boats back there. I don't know if you can tell on camera, there's a mast at 45 degrees and the boat's completely underwater. So yeah, we obviously do not want this for Sitka. And by the way, Navionics right now, if you look on the app, it says there's 7 knots of wind. Obviously they're freaking wrong, as per usual. Honestly, like, I haven't been impressed with Navionics, or not Navionics, sorry, Predict Wind. Since we left Mexico, it's been, even in Mexico it was wrong a lot of times, but right since then it's been wrong 99% of the time, all their predictions. So I'm not sure why I'm paying 150 bucks a year for that service anymore, but that and windy's always wrong. Also, I think as long, if you're not offshore, the wind, there's too many influences around land here, but yeah, she's pretty, and look at Bushted going. And the only reason Bushted is in the water is because we went and got fuel this morning before it got too chaotic, and we were gonna do like 2 fuel runs, but by the time we got back from the first one, the wind had already picked up and we have to go quite a far away to get fuel here, and we decided it was a smart idea to just wait for another calm morning to go get the second run of fuel. So right now we're just staying on board, and the reason we didn't put Bushted back on deck is because we gave our propane tank to a guy named Chile who just hangs out in the parking lot and does propane. So we gave him the tank this morning, and I have to go grab it at 2 p.m. and it is now like 12:30, so in about an hour and a half, and guaranteed it's gonna be a bit of a wavy wet ride for me, heading over there to the dinghy dock to grab it from him, but it's what you got to do sometimes.
Old Town Panama City, also known as Casco Viejo, is a vibrant and historic district that offers a captivating glimpse into Panama's colonial past. Founded in 1673, it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site, known for its charming streets, colonial-era architecture, and colorful nooks. The area is a blend of Spanish, French, and Afro-Caribbean influences, with beautiful churches, plazas, and old forts that tell a story of Panama's history. In recent years, Casco Viejo has undergone a revitalization, with its mix of trendy restaurants, boutique hotels, and lively bars, in contrast against centuries-old buildings, creating a unique fusion of old and new. Nestled along the shimmering coastline, Old Town is a living poem, where history and time itself seem to dance through the narrow cobblestone streets. It is a place where the old world and the new coexist in a delicate harmony, inviting all who wander its corners to pause, breathe, and lose themselves in the magic of a time long past, yet never forgotten.
How you feel after? Mr. Weenie.
I got a weird weenie. It's big, but it's good. Hey, that's my weenie. No!
You messed up your weenie.
I'm eating it. I'm eating it. I'm eating it.
That weenie's fine.
Is that fine?
That? Or
Yeah, you can go over the blue a bit. Yeah, there. Yeah, right there. That looks good. So today is the day before the day we transit the canal going the wrong way. So most boats transit it going from the Atlantic to the Pacific, but we're doing it the opposite side. We're on the Pacific side and we're going to the Atlantic side. A few things we've done today is we moved Anchorage. So we used to be over there on the other side of this peninsula on that side, which if you would have seen, we had like the view of the city and like all the skyscrapers. Now we're on the opposite side. So we're on the canal side. The canal entrance is literally just ahead here. So there's multiple steps to do this. We chose to go with an agent for this Panama Canal crossing. We've been advised by a lot of people, not just one person, but a lot of people, that it's way worth going with an agent because it's a $400 fee for the agent, and all these fees are like USD. In the end, you end up saving about $250 to $300 USD on some fees going through the agent. So it really only costs you like an extra $100, and they have all the connections, so it was super easy, and they can kind of like fight for you if like things don't work out the way you thought they were. It's been very easy. He had all the documentation done like a month before we even got to Panama, so we were all ready to go, and it's been flawlessly easy since then. On that note, right now it's about 1 p.m. in the afternoon, and we are anchored next to this marina here, which is called Playa Marina, and it's just at the entrance of the Panama Canal here on the Pacific side. And at 5 to 6 p.m. he's gonna send me a message on WhatsApp, our agent, and then he's gonna let me know when the line handlers show up. So we chose to hire 2 line handlers. If you don't have enough people on your boat, and that's 4 adults plus a captain, so you need 4 line handlers. They all have to be 18 and over. So if you don't have that amount of people, you either need to hire people, which is what we chose to do, or get random people to come on your boat and do the crossing with you, which is kind of what we were going to do at first. But then we've talked to a lot of people who've done it, and they all said the same thing. Like, people have had their family on boards and friends that aren't sailors and even other sailors, and they were like, you know what, the Panama Canal is so expensive, pay the extra $150 per line handler, just get 2. 2 is the perfect amount, one at the bow, one at the stern, and it will be the best money you've ever spent. And I was like, you know what, people have told me that, or like people that I respect a lot, that have a lot of seamanship behind them and a lot of years of experience, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna listen to you guys, and that's what we chose to do. So apparently, like, the line handlers obviously do this like every day, all day, all year long, so like they've seen it, they've done it, and it's gonna alleviate a lot of stress on Kenna and Nick. So that's what we chose to do. Kenna is also very stressed out right now about this. Like, she gets really worked up when it's like new things like this. Like, so it's pretty good, I think, that we have some line handlers coming. It's gonna put her more at ease when she sees that they do the bulk of the work. So the plan is, well, 6 p.m. like I said, these line handlers we're gonna go pick them up with a dinghy, and they're also gonna have 4 250-foot lines and a bunch of fenders, and then we're gonna prep the boat. Those 2 line handlers are sleeping on board tonight, and because at 3 a.m. That's when the advisor, which is another person that comes on board during the transit, will be hopefully coming on board Sitka. So I still have to call again on VHF channel 12, the station that's right up there, I think is where I'm calling. I called them earlier and they said to call back tonight, and then they'll give me an updated timing as to when the advisor will come on board. So I think ships under 70 feet or something like that get an advisor, and then ships above that get a pilot. So last time I did this, I was on a 100-foot ship, so we had a pilot on board. This time it will be an advisor. In my experience and the experience of many fellow sailors, they're not always the greatest. Sometimes they don't even know port from starboard, so just is something to keep in mind if you are doing the canal. So we have SV Bully, which is our friends. They're on a big old school sailboat, like a Vagabond 47, and then there's a big catamaran also. So the catamaran will be in the middle and will be the bread to the meat, so we'll be on either side of them. We don't know yet if we're going port side 2 or starboard side 2. Basically, we will tie up to these boats and go in as one pack through the 3 locks on the Pacific side, and then disconnect and then transit the 25-30 miles within the river and lake Gatun, and then on the other side we'll reattach and then proceed through the 3 locks on the Atlantic side, after which point we will transit the 5-mile distance that it is to Shelter Bay Marina, and that's where for us we'll disembark the advisor, as well as the line handlers and all the extra fenders and lines that we've rented for the canal crossing. Hopefully the weather is good for us tomorrow. I'm touching wood right now because apparently we might get thunderstorms and lightning, which I would hopefully not have. But yeah, we'll keep you appraised of the situation. We'll bring you guys along tomorrow and show you as much as we can. Obviously there's times where we might not be able to film, but I think since we're going to be sandwiched on the boat, only 2 lines are going to be active, and with the 2 line handlers, Kenna should have time to maybe film a bit for you guys, which would be great. Things we've done to prep the boat is instead of having the Genoa sheets on the main winch, we've just cleated them off. That way we can use the aft winches to pull in on the stern lines that are going to go to the walls. We've seen online that is sometimes used, so we just preemptively did that. We're also going to put that blanket up there on the solar panel that's up here, so that it doesn't get destroyed by, because they basically throw monkey fists. So for those of you who don't know, a monkey fist is just basically a ball, usually lead weight, that's like wrapped around in a coil of line. It's a special knot called a monkey's fist, and then that's at an end of a throwing line. So you throw that, and that little weight helps throw the line further. So the canal people are going to throw those down from the wall, and then we'll attach those long 250-foot lines, and then they'll pull them up. And there's also a lot of water movement. Once we're going to be behind a giant cargo ship. So like all these cargo ships that you see over there, they're all waiting to go through the canal, and that big ro-ro is the one we definitely don't want to be behind. But basically we're going to be behind one of these big ships, and when they turn their main engines, like that causes a lot of water turbulence and can move the boats like one way or another. So the catamaran in this case has the hardest job of like trying to steer the entire island of 3 boats for safety, since they're the boat who will be powering the group forward in the locks. The middle boat is basically the power boat, and then the 2 boats on either side are the ones with the lines that go up to the walls. So pros and cons to everything, but yeah, like with a catamaran they have 2 engines, so it makes the most sense to have them in the middle. And yeah, I'm sure it's gonna go well. We'll like, you'll be there, so you'll see it with us. And Kenna right now is down below prepping meals. So one thing that you have to know if you're going to transit the canal is you are in charge of feeding everybody on board, obviously, but that includes the advisor. If you choose not to feed the advisor, that's fine, but then they charge you like something ludicrous, like 150 US a day for food, and then he brings his own food. So obviously most cruisers we know, they feed them. So, and then for us, like, because we gotta sleep 2 more people, the line handlers. So like Nick is sleeping forward here, and then we'll drop down the stable, and then they'll both be sleeping here. Other considerations if you're gonna do the canal is you have to be able to maintain 5 knots of speed throughout the entirety of the thing, and expect to be motoring for 12 hours really, or have your engine on for at least 12 hours, maybe less, but about that. Because like a lot of times, like I remember when we did it, like we were waiting forever, just doing donuts, waiting for the pilot to embark, and then after that you're just like in neutral waiting for it to go into locks, and then once you start transiting between the locks, it's like 25-30 miles, and you have to maintain 5. We'll probably go 5.5, but yeah, you don't want to go too fast either, because then you end up waiting on the other end. But you can't be under 5 knots or else you won't make it, and they won't let you on the canal if you can't make 5 knots anyways, or they'll fine you, and the fines are pretty steep. Another weird thing too is you have to have a dodger. If you don't have a dodger and like a canopy, you have to make a makeshift one, because the advisor or the pilot cannot get wet. So if it rains and they get wet, you get fined. So kind of a weird one, but yeah, you have to keep that in mind. On here we should be good. Like the dodger protects most of the cockpit. Like if it starts raining, I'll just tell him like, hey, go under the cockpit, like chill there. We've heard friends that had the advisor on board and they were like taking naps and stuff, so it's like, yeah. Anyways, we'll bring you guys along. I'm gonna stop talking now because I think I'm at 10 minutes and Kenna's gonna kill me. So
Jay just went in the dinghy to the marina to pick up our line, guys, which means it's happening. It's happening. I think Bully just picked up their line, guys, actually. We're gonna be with them in the canal tomorrow, and another catamaran called Finn Jay should be coming back with our 2 line guys in a second. They're gonna be sleeping aboard Sitka tonight so that we can have a 2 a.m. start tomorrow morning. Super early. I am so anxious. It's not even funny. My body's like having a hard time right now. When I get super anxious, all of my workings stop working properly. I have a stressed stomach, so I get stomach issues when I'm this anxious. Anyway, TMI. But I share everything with you guys because we love you. We're just ready, honestly. We're just ready to transit. We've been talking about this for ages, and now it's actually finally happening. And I just pray that everything goes super smoothly for us. So, crossing fingers and toes here. Oh my God.
Like, yeah, bring those and then come back to the 2 guys. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I have a choice.
No kidding. Look at all that.
They're really nice.
Are they?
I didn't meet our guys, but I met Derek's guys. Like, they're super rad. It's all the same crew. It's like 3 boats, same company, so it's gonna go super easy.
Good.
That's nice.
Okay, I'll help load here. All right, here's all the gear. Big old lines. My hand in comparison. And a bunch of fenders. And now Jay went back to go get the boys. And I guess they're really nice, so that's exciting. Oh, I can't believe we're almost ready. Oh my God, I'm so excited and nervous. Crazy. I cannot believe this is happening. I cannot believe we're gonna be transiting the Panama Canal on our own boat to the Atlantic side. When dreams come true. It's a pretty surreal feeling. The nerves are high aboard Sitka the evening before our transit. Each and every moment, Jay and I would think of something to prep, just to keep our minds busy. We've been talking about transiting the Panama Canal for years, and now only being 8 hours away from that very moment felt bizarre. If you've watched this far, comment down below Panama Canal and show us how ready you are for next week's video. I wish I could tell you that it's going to be a fun-filled one. I wish I could tell you that next week's episode is going to be easygoing, and I wish I could tell you that it was a positive experience, but that would all be a flat-out lie. I guess crossing my fingers and toes that we would have an untroubled transit just wasn't enough. Stopped turning over like randomly. This is the 3rd time now it just stopped.
I think we got it. You can't make this shit up.
Is it through all of them? Yeah. Oh my God, I'm gonna cry. Hola.
Okay, we're moving, but we're transiting the canal with a non-reliable engine.
Just freaking died again and we haven't even made it to the locks. No way. I don't know how we're gonna make it through. Thank you for watching this week's episode of Sailing Sitka. Stick around for more to come. If you enjoyed, please spread the love and let us know. Special thank you to our Patreon members for making these videos possible, as well as helping our dreams come true. See you all next week.